Thank you very much, partner. Okay, now the president, he's announced that the sale of alcohol will continue to be restricted, banned with immediate effect on Sunday, and that came as a shock to many people. And this morning the president has been reportedly saying it's just a suspension, it's not a ban. But this suspension has been widely criticized. Not everybody is happy, and one organization that's planning a campaign in support of this restriction of alcohol sales due to its effects of induced trauma on women and children, that is the Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance. Today, they are planning to place 67 teddy bears at strategic locations around the country. Each of these teddy bears will bear a special message. So what is this all about? Maurice Smithers is the director of the Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance, joining us now via Skype. Maurice, very good morning. It sounds like it's a very important message you want to drive through the country. You are one of those organizations that, in a way, is happy with the ongoing restriction on the sale of alcohol.
Thank you, Dan. Yes, I just want to mention that I'm sitting here at home with two of my household members who are also volunteers with this teddy bear campaign.
Okay, so they're volunteering, and the teddy bear campaign is going to be across the country. What are the messages you are bringing to us?
Well, what we're doing is we are saying that alcohol is an ongoing problem. You know, there's a big focus on alcohol now under COVID. And government has decided that a ban is a necessary thing to do right now to curb the epidemic and also to free hospital beds. But we're also looking to the future. Because the problem about alcohol is that these issues didn't start with COVID. They existed pre-COVID. And so what we're saying is, how are we going to go forward after COVID? Because you can't sustain a ban forever. So the problems that we've seen emerging, the gender-based violence, the car crashes, the strain on trauma units in hospitals. These are ongoing problems. So how do we deal with them in the future, given the fact that you can't have a ban forever?
I think that's very important, and I don't know what you're thinking, because yesterday the president was addressing South Africans, talking about all kinds of issues, and we've been playing a clip of him this morning on ENC where he says it's not a ban, it's a suspension. That must not give you comfort, or does it give you comfort?
Absolutely. No, you know, we've been liaising with government and with the NCCC for some time now, making proposals, working with researchers to provide evidence to government about the issue. And we've constantly said that a ban may be necessary, or what the president is now calling a suspension, which is probably actually more correct. A suspension may well be necessary, but we have to look to the long term. And so what we're saying is there's a number of actions that can be taken by government, actions, by the way, that are already in existing drafted bills which are still to go to Parliament. For example, there's a bill that is currently in Parliament but it's not being processed yet, which calls for a reduction of the blood alcohol content level of drivers. If that bill goes through, that is actually going to reduce the number of car crashes that are caused by alcohol. There's another bill, the Liquor Amendment Bill, which is also from the Department of Trade and Industry, which is also, it was drafted in 2016. That should go through. That is also going to introduce new measures which are going to help to reduce alcohol-related harm. So our argument is we want an alcohol-safe South Africa. In other words, people can continue to have alcohol if they choose to be drinkers, but alcohol's got to be consumed in a safe way. So we follow the World Health Organization recommendations, which are three fundamental ones. The one is that you reduce the availability of alcohol, and you do that through limited operating hours. You do that through limiting the number of liquor outlets that you have. You do that through increasing the age of drinking, which is already in the Liquor Amendment Bill, and various other mechanisms. The other is to increase the price of alcohol. Alcohol shouldn't be so cheap that people can drink themselves into a stupor. And many countries, for example, Scotland, has introduced what they call minimum unit pricing. And then the third thing is that you ban advertising, because advertising is one of the key ways in which people are encouraged to drink, particularly advertising that promotes lifestyles and makes people think they're going to be a better person if they drink alcohol. So that's really what our message is, and that's going to be the message of our Teddy Bear campaign. I should mention that we're doing the Teddy Bear campaign in 5 centres, Joburg, Pretoria, outside Parliament next to the Mandela bust, in George, and in the Alex Mall. And the messaging there is that, we need a new way of doing things. And the teddy bears represent, there'll be 67 because of Mandela Day, but the teddy bears also, they represent warmth and caring. They represent comfort. And that's really what we're saying is needed. Alcohol shouldn't be a threat to people, and particularly women and children, as you mentioned before. So we're working with a lot of other organizations, including the Teddy Bear Foundation, who donated all the teddy bears, but also Sonke Gender Justice, Hlanganisa Institute for Development, SAD, which is the South Africans Against Drinking and Driving. So it's not just SAPA, but it's our 15 alliance partners and many other civil society organizations which are calling for a new normal in South Africa around alcohol.
Thank you very much, Maurice Smithers, Director of the Southern African Alcohol Policy Alliance, and good luck with your campaign. More news at the top of the hour.